Also, the Oregon Board of Education is extending the suspension of essential skills assessment as a graduation requirement. That suspension of the requirement, which had been in place since 2012, began during the pandemic. K2's Christina Giardinelli was at the board meeting today, is live now in Salem with the story. Christina, why is the board continuing this suspension here?
Well, the board's unanimous decision is based on a report from the Oregon Department of Education. That report found that the way the assessment of essential skills was being used in Oregon high schools was marginalizing students. Some parents, though, believe that removing that requirement is removing accountability. Starting in 2012, all 11th graders in Oregon had to prove competence in essential skills like reading, writing, and math. Students who didn't pass the assessment had to make up the work in their senior year to graduate. That requirement was suspended during the pandemic. The Oregon Board of Education just voted to continue the suspension until 2027. They say the way the assessment results were being used was marginalizing students. Guadalupe Martinez Zapata chairs the board.
We are unable to ethically make a different decision at this point. It is also unethical for us to continue to require this when we know it can continue to cause harm and has had no change in how students are performing.
Oregon still has graduation requirements based on course credits, and schools still conduct essential skills assessments. The board's decision is based on a report from the Oregon Department of Education. Dan Farley is ODE's Assistant Superintendent of Research.
The ways that students met the requirements, the types of diplomas that they got, could all be predicted by race, ethnicity, by IEP status, by multilingual learner status. We have to do what we can to disrupt those basically racist outcomes.
But some parents feel removing the requirement is devaluing Oregon's diploma by giving students an easy pass. Mary Miller spoke against the decision at today's meeting.
Any parent of a teenager knows that students are more motivated and they study if there's going to be a test.
Carrie Harding, another parent who submitted testimony, says the decision is sending the wrong message to students.
To me, telling children who are of color that they are unable to rise to standards.
Now, the Oregon Department of Education submitted that report to the legislature. It includes recommendations on how lawmakers can look to make sure that Oregon students are receiving the education they need for the workplace and for college. Live in Salem, Christina Giardinelli, K2 News.
Christina, thank you for that.